Ambassador Zixathara of the Crystalline Confederation stared at the holographic display with what humans would recognize as bewilderment, though her silicon-based features remained impassive. The data streams flowing across the translucent screen showed weapon specifications that defied conventional galactic understanding. "This cannot be accurate," she clicked in her native tongue, her crystalline appendages refracting the blue light of the display. "These readings suggest a single human vessel destroyed an entire Vorthon battle fleet." Captain Elena Rodriguez sat across from her in the sterile conference room aboard the neutral station Harmony's Edge. The human's dark eyes held a mixture of pride and exhaustion. "The readings are correct, Ambassador. The UES Defiance engaged 47 Vorthon dreadnoughts and emerged victorious. The third member of their unlikely trinity, General Kethvor of the Hegemony War Council, leaned forward on his 6 legs, his insectoid head tilted in the gesture his species used to express confusion. "Impossible. Humans have been space-capable for barely 2 centuries. The Vorthon Empire has dominated warfare for millennia." Elena pulled up another hologram, this one showing a sleek human destroyer bristling with unusual weapon arrays. "Meet humanity's latest contribution to galactic peace, the Paradox Drive." Zixathara's optical sensors focused on the strange device mounted along the ship's spine. "What does it do?" "It weaponizes time itself," Elena said simply. The silence that followed was profound enough that the station's life support systems seemed loud by comparison. Kethvor's mandibles clicked nervously. "Time cannot be weaponized. The fundamental laws of physics are more like guidelines when humans get involved," Elena interrupted with a slight smile. "You see, while other species spent eons perfecting energy weapons and kinetic projectiles, we asked a different question. What if we could make our enemies fight themselves?" She manipulated the hologram, showing the battle in slow motion. The human ship appeared to flicker, existing in multiple positions simultaneously, before unleashing salvos that seemed to curve through impossible trajectories. "The Paradox Drive creates temporal echoes of our ship," Elena explained. "Past and future versions of the Defiance fighting alongside the present one. From the enemy's perspective, they're facing not one ship, but dozens of the same vessel attacking from different temporal positions." Ambassador Zixathara processed this information through her quantum consciousness. "The energy requirements alone should tear your ship apart." "That's where human stubbornness comes in handy," Elena chuckled. "We couldn't build a power source big enough, so we built a time loop instead. The ship powers itself using energy borrowed from its own future, creating a closed temporal circuit." General Kethvor's compound eyes widened. That's insane. The paradoxes alone could unravel causality." "Only if you think about it too hard," Elena replied. "Humans have this wonderful ability to ignore impossible things until they start working. We call it aggressive pragmatism." The hologram shifted to show another scene, a massive space station with hegemony markings being torn apart by what appeared to be its own weapons. "The Zhenth siege," Kethfor whispered, recognizing the footage. "We lost 14 million soldiers. The humans claimed they used no weapons at all." Elena nodded solemnly. "The empathy engine, Dr. Sarah Chen's masterpiece. Instead of destroying your enemies, why not make them understand you so completely they can't bring themselves to fight?" "Impossible," Zixathara stated. "Forced empathy on that scale would require quantum consciousness bridging, yes. Sarah figured out how to network sapient minds across space-time using modified communication arrays. Your soldiers didn't just see human memories, they experienced them. They felt what it was like to lose a homeworld, to watch children grow up in refugee camps to fight desperate battles against overwhelming odds." The room fell quiet as both aliens absorbed the implications. "Your species stopped fighting because they couldn't tell the difference between their pain and ours," Elena continued. "Temporary, non-lethal, and absolutely devastating to military morale." Kethvor's antennae drooped. "We spent the next cycle in therapy fleets helping our warriors recover from experiencing someone else's trauma. Which brings us to today's discussion," Elena said, calling up a new hologram showing a device that hurt to look at directly. The paradox drive and empathy engine were defensive technologies. What you're seeing now is humanity's latest invention, the conceptual bomb. Both aliens recoiled instinctively from the display. It doesn't destroy matter or energy, Elena explained. It destroys ideas. Specifically, it removes the concept of warfare from a civilization's collective consciousness. Permanently. You're talking about mental genocide, Zixthera said, her harmonic voice resonating with horror. We're talking about permanent peace, Elena corrected. The affected species doesn't lose the ability to defend themselves or compete. They simply lose the ability to conceive of solving problems through organized violence. They become constitutionally incapable of war. General Kethvor stood abruptly, his carapace gleaming under the conference room lights. And you're telling us this because? Elena's expression grew serious. Because 3 more species have declared war on humanity this cycle. The Nexus Syndicate believes our soft weapons make us vulnerable to conventional assault. The sovereign minds think their psychic shields can protect them from empathy weapons. The Void-touched are convinced their dark matter armor makes them immune to temporal manipulation. She paused, letting her words sink in. They're all wrong, but before we demonstrate why, the Galactic Council requested we offer one final diplomatic solution. Elena stood and walked to the viewport, gazing out at the star field beyond. Complete disarmament. Every species destroys their weapons of war and agrees to resolve conflicts through negotiation and trade. And if we refuse? Kethvor asked, though he already knew the answer. Elena turned back to face them, and both aliens saw something in her eyes that made their respective blood run cold. Not anger, not malice, but the calm certainty of a species that had spent its entire history turning impossible things into inevitabilities. Then we'll make the choice for you, she said quietly. Because that's what humans do. We take the hardest possible solution to a problem and make it work anyway. The galaxy's deadliest technology had always been human ingenuity. Now the universe would learn what that really meant.